spider. A flipping spider. Yes, I admit I am still not over the reveal of what was in Eric Rowan's cage, and no, that is not a euphemism. And look, 99% of the time, I am a positive Pete, and really this doesn't matter. It was just a spider in a cage, but every now and then, something gets in my head, I become a negative Nancy, and all hell breaks loose. It's not just this one incident though, because it's been going on for 30 years, and I, for one, am sick and tired of it, and that is why I am going to stand here today and say that these 10 letdowns have ruined all surprise. And yes, that is hyperbole up the 2-9. You know, we're on YouTube, we're doing videos, and that's what we do. Why? Here's why. We will start at number 10, because obviously where the hell else would we start? 7.9, that wouldn't make any sense. And it is going to be Eric Rowan. I just want to get a few statistics, a few anatomical facts out there, because he started pretending that he had something interesting in this cage on November the 11th, 2019. Now, given that we are in the week of the 11th of March 2020, I am going to say that this storyline ran for 4 months. And what was in that daft prison by the end of it? A fake mechanical tarantula. So it was 4 months of teasing, 4 months of my life, and the big payoff from all of this, apart from No Way Jose going, hey, can I see what's in that cage, please? Was Drew McIntyre, the biggest babyface on Monday Night Raw, finding it and squishing it 7 days later. So straight away, you're like, well, that wasn't very nice. In case it was a real spider, it was never made clear, but also it was WWE just writing it off. So you want to know why that hurts? Because it just means that WWE didn't have a plan to begin with. And if you aren't going to go on some kind of secret mystery tour, before you even start writing the bits in the middle, you have to have an endpoint. If you don't have an endpoint, how the hell are you going to know what you're aiming towards? It just screamed of, we don't know what to do, and if you're an idiot, a jabroni, a moron like me, you bought into this, and now you feel like you've got egg on your face. Not the good kind of egg where you can lick it off and go sweet protein, the bad kind of egg where you sit down sad every day and like, damn it, why am I such a nerd? Which brings me to number 9, because yes, this isn't the first time that WWE has done it. Because if we go back to September of 2019, we were being told to get really excited at Stomping Grounds because the match between Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin was gonna have a special guest referee or a mystery referee. And when you start saying these things and you don't tell the audience who it's going to be, our minds start racing. You could argue that we need to keep our expectations down. But WWE doesn't do that. It stirs the pot. And then who just strolled down the aisleway? It was Lacey Evans. Now, I will admit this was kind of smart from a storyline point of view, because now Seth was in a difficult position where this person was pushing her around, but he wouldn't hit her back because she was a woman. But let's be honest, we saw the sassy Southern Belle on television each and every single week at this point anyway, so how were we meant to get super excited for just seeing her again? You may as well have just said a few days before, oh, by the way, it's Lacey Evans. Otherwise, you're kind of just ticking off the audience. And number 8 was the same, TLC 2019. What the hell happened in 2019? The Viking Raiders were on that pay-per-view. They were stomping around going, oh, we're going to come to your village and pillage, because that's what Vikings do. But for now, we are going to have an open challenge. And WWE decided not to tell you who this was going to be. So you sat there watching the event thinking, oh, who's going to be the tag team? And it was the OC. And again, I like Luke Gallows and I like Carl Anderson, but we had seen them all the time. And what's worse, they didn't even have a finish. It was like a count-out schmoz thing. And you don't realize it in the moment, but every time somebody does do this, it just waters the next thing down. Like if I punch you 50 times in the face, then on the 51st time I go and kiss you on the head, you're just going to be really confused. And no, that is not a metaphor or an analogy that worked, but just think about it anyway. Entry 7 is where the plates started to shift to, and it's where we bring in Hornswoggle. Because not only was he the anonymous Raw general manager, but he was also Vince McMahon's illegitimate son, and who knows what else. There's probably 62,744 answers that came out as Hornswoggle. I mean, there was a period when he was used in every single segment like this, and once again, you just knew WWE sat backstage going, well, we don't really know what we should do, and we've had this on television for many months. Why don't we just go get a leprechaun? And it didn't even make any sense. It made no sense whatsoever. The anonymous Raw general manager, for example, was a right asshole. Why did no one bring this up? And tell me why Swogs over here was being such a dick. I mean, you even get out of nowhere surprises that throw you off course. Bring in number 6, Shane McMahon. Because you remember this. it was one of the funniest things that's ever happened in WWE. And on that note, on that level, I can't get too mad at it. When it was going down, I actually had tears in my eyes because I thought it was so nuts. But we go to Crown Jewel or Super Showdown, whichever the hell it was, in 2018, when we were having the Best in the World tournament, and we were meant to see The Miz in that final. But The Miz got injured, so Shane O'Mac just walked down and went, oh, I think I'll be in this. And he won, and he became the best in the world. Imagine that in the World Cup. Imagine that in the Super Bowl. A team just turn up and go, pop, smack someone in the face and go, we'd like to be in it now. And what's doubly ridiculous is the officials go, yeah, I mean, we need a game. Hop on in. And combined with everything else that we're talking about, it just wears you out, much like number 5, when back in 2002 of all things, DDP Diamond Dallas Page was revealed as The Undertaker and his wife Stalker. Now this was actually worth it for that incredible pop he did get on Raw when he ripped off that balaclava. But go and look what happened afterwards. You saw DDP like, oh my gosh, it's a former WCW heavyweight champion. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to get his ass handed to him by The Undertaker over and over again. I don't think DDP was allowed to punch him. And then on an episode of Raw, Sarah, The Undertaker's wife, shall pin Diamond Dallas Page. Why did I bother? And of course, this all just happened because he came from World Championship Wrestling, but you were still being taught a little thing. Don't buy into certain aspects because you're probably not going to get what you want. Never was that more true with number 4, which was Rikishi when he did it for The Rock. Now, I don't actually mind this one as much as others on this list because I appreciate the fact that WWE tried to do something different. Like, whoever they chose as the man that ran over Stone Cold Steve Austin was in line for a mega push, so why not try and get Rikishi more over? He was a fan favorite, he did have a massive upside. I appreciate the effort. And of course, if it had worked, we'd all be clapping our hands right now, going, oh man, Vince McMahon and co, you absolutely smashed it. But the truth of the matter is that it didn't work, so now we look back and it's like, maybe we should have chosen someone else. Maybe we should have just made it Triple H and kept things nice and simple instead of going with Mr. Stinkface. Remember the Stinkface? Imagine you were a wrestler and you got to work that day, Mr. I don't know, whoever, Mr. Wrestler 2. Are you alright having a man's ass just stuck in your face this evening? I guess so, because that's my job. And we are all to blame for this too as well, because we should have learnt way back in the mid-90s when World Wrestling Entertainment, or World Wrestling Federation, as they were known then, told us that I know you think that Razor Ramon and Diesel have left, but they haven't left. They haven't left at all. In fact, we are going to bring them back right now on this show called Raw. Apparently they were playing the keyboard at the same time. And it's in at number 3, as you've already figured out, and it was just a fine example of WWE trolling its own audience. Because it wasn't Scott Hall, it wasn't Kevin Nash, it was Glenn, soon I'm gonna be Kane Jacobs, and it was Rick, I do a good Razor Ramon impression, Bogner. And that was it. These were the 2 reasons to pretend that 2 of WWE's biggest stars at the time had come back from the competition just because I guess we wanted to pop a rain. But you know what every single fan did? They got upset and they got mad because of course they did. It was like taking a wet fish and slapping it around somebody's face. I mean, what did you think was gonna happen? Did you think a Scott Hall fan was gonna be like, well, I know it's not Scott Hall, but at least if I squint, I can pretend it's Scott Hall. No, no, no. Which is also true with number 2, the higher power. Now, it's kind of hard to comprehend this these days, but when we actually learned that The Undertaker in his group was answering to someone else, it got your brain racing. Who on earth is WWE going to pick to be the leader of The Undertaker? Because in the world of at least Vince McMahon's creations, The Undertaker was always the guy on top. So fans were pumped and rumours of Shawn Michaels started to surface, and of course, legitimately on paper, this was going to be Christopher Daniels, and what a way to debut a new guy, until McMahon looked at him and went, no, you're not the right dude. Apparently because of too small. And even Bret Hart's name was mentioned at one point. That was dumb, but wasn't it fun to guess? Wasn't it fun to get all riled up about it? And then when it turned out to be Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who couldn't have been on TV more, at this stage, it was like being kicked in the testicles. Now, there was a silver lining to this, because of course when he did reveal himself, Vince went, it was me out there, it was me all along. And that's one of my favourite clips ever. But at the time, this was not the case. Nostalgia and hindsight hadn't played the part. Also, again, storyline-wise, it made no sense. So now I was being told that Vince McMahon had tried to kill his own daughter, because before this big reveal, he was trying to stop The Undertaker, who was trying to kill his own daughter and take out his entire family. Well, that just makes perfect sense. And he did it to try and get back at Stone Cold Steve Austin. With that said though, as I've already hinted at, this is on all of us. It's on you, it's on me, it's on the fan, it's on Dave, who sits over there watching wrestling over the day, because we should have known better from 1990. Survivor Series 1990. You already know where this is going. Because there at this pay-per-view, WWE finally promised to reveal what was in a giant egg. Should have known better. But that giant egg had been a massive focal point of their television shows for a long time. And then when it did hatch, out came Hector Guerrero, dressed as a giant turkey, and just clucked his way to the ring. It was also called the Gobbledygooker. Let it set, let it run through your brain. The Gobbledygooker. And I get wrestling back then, especially it was for kids, but even children were swearing at this. They were like, that is flubbing shib. What is going on, Dad? And Dad was like, I don't know, but let's leave. So there it is, there's more, and please do leave them in the comments below. But if you are an idiot, like I am, really our guard should have been up by right now. We should have learned from all this, we should have educated ourselves, and we should have both fists looking around, ready to punch these things away. But I don't, I can't help it. I'm too easily invested, which is why really, you can just take everything I've said and reverse it and say, Simon Miller, you are the problem. And I wouldn't argue the problem and a bald asshole. But a mystery has to pay off with something cool. Otherwise, ironically, it was something that just happened. But I got it off my chest. Now I can just forget about it. R.I.P. Eric Rowan's stupid tarantula. I shall never talk about it again. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about this. And again, let me know more surprises that made you go, oh man, that's absolute toast. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. Head over to whatculture.com, read yourself some articles, follow What Culture on Twitter, What Culture WWE, and use your eyes to watch more videos here on What Culture Wrestling. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you for joining me and asking the question why. Together we're like a band of brothers and sisters and mums and aunties and uncles and granddads and grandpas and cats that are just gonna storm the mountain of life, and when we get there, feel like hot tamales. I don't have a clue. I'll see you soon.